I'm your host, Scott Norton, and welcome to At Large. On this show, I talk to world-class creatives who use business to bring their ideas to life. We'll hear about their creative practices, their most interesting stories, and the lessons that'll inspire you the way that they've inspired me. Our guest today is Dinara Kasko, a world-renowned pastry chef and culinary educator. She's been named one of the top entrepreneurial creatives on the 50 Best Restaurants list and made her big screen debut in the feature film Ottolenghi and the Cakes of Versailles. She has creations served in patisseries from Qatar to California. Originally trained as an architect, Dinara's unmistakable pastry molds are inspired by architecture and mathematics. Her cakes are hypnotic in their complexity and precision, and as she discovered 10 years ago, are perfectly Instagrammable. Making the most of this platform, she's attracted 1 million followers who follow her creations and the glimpses of her personal life that she chooses to share, all with the benefits and drawbacks that come from an identity forged on social media. Like many other guests of At Large, Dinara has made a living out of her exceptional creative abilities. However, unlike anyone else we've talked to, Dinara hails from Kharkiv, a region in eastern Ukraine invaded by Russia in 2022. That year, she was forced to flee her beloved home city, leaving her pastry studio behind. She sought refuge in a better life in Southern California with her young family of 4. Here in America, she continues to build her business, refine her craft, and explore new outlets for expression and emotion at dance music festivals. Please enjoy my wide-ranging conversation with the inspiring and refreshingly real Dinara Kasko. Let's talk about Ukraine. Mm-hmm. You were born in Kharkiv, or in eastern Ukraine, or where were you born?
Yeah, I born 100 kilometers far from Kharkiv in a small city, and there were maybe 20,000 people there. And I moved to Kharkiv when I was 17. I just went to university, and I lived in a student hostel alone from 17. Yeah, and I moved to US a year ago, but we left Ukraine when war started in my city. We had to left.
And so your area around Kharkiv was invaded, bombed in early 2022 by the Russians?
Yeah. From 24th of February, when it started, we heard this explosion. Our windows were shaking like everywhere. And yes, but Ukraine is quite big, and my region is very near to Russia. And we have the closest, my city is like a circle, and we live close to Russia. The closest part to Russia is my house. Like, it's only 30 kilometers far, or 40 from border. And they came, during first days. I have even a video with Russian tanks on our street near my house. Yeah, it was very scary, and they occupied some territory of our region, but not where I was born. So that city is still free right now. It's Ukrainian, but right now we have different periods, and right now they shelled my city every day. 2 days ago they shelled city center, one of the most popular buildings in Ukraine in general. We have huge, beautiful building, quite old, around 100 years old, and they just destroyed one part. So they shell every day. Still, it's very dangerous to live there, but people are living, opening businesses, going to restaurants, and making kids and everything, because
as the city is bombed weekly.
Yeah, every day. But they leave because they don't have any other choice. They used to.
What was it like for you to be living in a city as it was being invaded and bombed?
I don't know, for me, and that's why I'm here, because I can't. I understood that I couldn't live with bombing. I was very nervous, and especially because of my kids. So my decision was to move out from Ukraine, but people are living. They are I think, I have therapists because of my Instagram or my Lost or something else. But I think that all people in Ukraine, they all have problems right now with depression, with mental health, especially because it's impossible to live. And the biggest problem that they can't make normal plans. You can't plan your future. You don't know what to expect tomorrow.
Right.
Will you have electricity or not? Will you be Ukraine or not Ukraine? Do you need to leave your apartment in 1 week or you can stay? You can't, if you open something, you're not sure that it will work or like, and of course, a lot of people living. And in my city, before war started, we had 2 million people there. It was huge city. And we almost didn't have tourists. It was very local city. And for example, if we talk about me, I have 0 friends there. 0. If I come back right now home, I have 0 friends. Only my manager, but I met him and we started to work when war started. So no my friends, no my classmates, no one is here. So
Where was your bakery?
I had 2 studios. One was production in the city center and like molds
in
production.
Kharkiv.
Yeah. And
Did
the
you
other
ever
one,
live in Kiev?
No. I liked my city. So
Yes.
for me, I didn't want to live in any other city, only Kharkiv. It was my place. We bought apartment before war started, new one. So we planned to stay there. I didn't want to go anywhere else. And I had a studio there. It was quite a big place, and a lot of chefs came to my studio to teach their classes. We had foreign students there, so I promoted my city a lot, and it's nice. It was really very nice place to live because everything is cheap. Comparing to US, for example, it was much cheaper, very tasty. Because for example, when you have tourists in any European city, nobody cares about quality of food, for example, because that they are tourists, they will gone like
Right.
one time eating. But when you have only locals, you need to have everything good quality, otherwise they will not come back. So we had a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of like new generation who tried to make the city better. I went to some business club, we had meetings, we were like young generation, really made a lot of changes in our city. And it was really nice place to stay and to live, not cheap, very convenient to do everything. We had trouble because of Russia and we didn't have enough flight, for example, but you could fly to Istanbul and then go where you need to go, or to Kiev. And I traveled a lot, and but now my brain blocked all these memories. So I don't remember when last time I tried to think about my city, because it hurts a lot, and I stopped thinking about it because right now there is no way to come back home, and I hope to come back home when I lived in the UK last year, but then when I understood that it's impossible to make right now, and we moved to US, and now I'm just living, today and tomorrow, maybe 1 month, but I don't have big plans. Nobody knows what to expect. Will I have apartment tomorrow, or maybe they will bomb it and I will have 0?
It's psychological terrorism.
Really, you don't. It's like we talked with my mom and she said me some
Where
phrase.
is she?
She's in that city where I was born. She told me like, I understand that I'm not understanding anything. We understand that we don't understand. That's all. So what you can do, you don't know. And we have a lot of YouTube, for example, podcasts and YouTube channels, and people are talking, everyone is talking about this, that we don't know what to expect, how to live with it. It's really terrible.
What do you think the world needs to know about this war?
I think that this war is, unfortunately, there is no reason. There is no advantages, nothing, no pluses, nothing good. We just lost territories, we lost people, we lost animals, huge territories, and there is no reason, and I don't know how to stop it. I don't see any way to stop it, but I believe it will stop one day, definitely. And I think it's important not to believe to TV, and to think about people, and especially when we call to our relatives in Russia and tell that there is bombing and something like, and they don't believe us because they believe to propaganda
Right.
and TV and news, and it's very important to be to stay human and to listen to human, not to news or something else, but just try to save this humanity like inside you. If you remember, Europe was totally destroyed, like a lot of cities like in Germany, and people rebuilt everything. But the biggest problem is lost lives. So we have to save lives and we have to stop it. And of course it's better to we need to have our territories, because there are still a lot of people who escape from occupied territories, but they want to come back, and they want to come back like Ukrainians to Ukraine.
So you made the difficult decision to leave the city you loved and the country you loved, and you moved to California.
Yeah.
Tell us about that move, and how did you decide to move to Southern California?
About California, I wanted to live in the US. I just wanted. I don't know why. My son was born here in Miami 5 years ago, because I thought about it. Because I have audience on my Instagram, most of them from US. This is the biggest market. We have sales, like the biggest amount of sales here. So I saw some opportunities to be here because I have friends here and they like. So I decided to go to move to US. There was like two options. We had two options: Miami or California. And I decided to go to California. There were some friend of mine, and they advised me to go to Irvine. And I checked online that this is one of the safest city in the US, because my husband really worried about shooting and everything at school. And there is no crime, like very clean. So we just went there, and I really like this place. And all my friends who live right now there, like Ukrainian friends, all of them, they really like. The biggest fun,
Oh, good. Okay.
Really. And I like the weather. I like people. I like we have business meetings almost every week, like every 2 weeks, with Ukrainian community. Everyone is talking about like new business, what to do, with some advice. Like we are just talking like business meetings. My husband doesn't like it. His dream is just to come back home to Ukraine and just sofa, and that's all. But for me, I feel.
So you're the breadwinner and the bread baker.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel this energy here. I feel the sun. And this morning it was so funny. I went with my dog outside. It was like 8:30. I wear just a like sweatshirt, and it was a bit cold. And it's like, oh, it's a bit cold. California, like we need some warm water. And then I thought, okay, so in Ukraine, it's around 0 right now. So
Whoa.
It's much, much better.
Yeah, 0 centigrade.
Yeah, so during this time, you wear just winter coat. It's cold.
Wow.
Like the end of October, I remember someday we had snow in the middle of October. We have snow already. So it was like, oh, no, it's much better than Ukraine. So I'm happy to be here. I have like weather, nature. We have ocean, we have mountains, we have
Desert.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
A lot of business ideas. And as I understand, here there are a lot of expats, a lot of foreigners. And I feel that everyone very similar to me, everyone in the same position, and people do not judge each other. But here I feel like there are so many foreigners, so I feel like I'm at home.
I'm so glad to hear that. We're a melting pot, country of immigrants.
I'm just trying to make this world sweeter, more beautiful, brighter, and give some good emotions to people, because cakes and sugar, it's about joy.
So I'd love for you to take us back to the moment where the world started recognizing your work.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember when it was that you started putting things out onto the internet and things started catching fire?
Yeah, I really remember that period. It was in 2016. I made an article for Spanish pastry magazine. I was able to post my cakes because previously I couldn't. So I started to post, and then in 2 or 3 days, everything happened. Like big media started publishing these cakes, and it was really crazy because I wasn't expect this. I wasn't ready for it at all. And I remember we were at the end of the month, we were in Paris and in France, somewhere in France. I was at some classes, like a student, and everyone talked about me. I was just a student in the group, but everyone like, oh my God, are you Dinara? How did you do it? And everyone asked, and it was really crazy period of my life. But it was very, very interesting, especially talking about my physical, like my mental health and everything that I just tried to realize that is going on in my life. And I think it was something like a gift from universe for me, because it happened, but I'm very grateful for this. But how to say in English? I can also live without this. So it happened, and luckily it happened, for me, because somebody saw my work and somebody posted it. And I remember there were a lot of articles about me in big media like New York Times and like really huge media, and I paid nothing for it. I had nothing to sell. So
when you went viral for the first time,
yeah, everything.
when you had a spotlight shown on you,
yeah,
it was for your pastry work.
Yes,
but you didn't have the molds.
I didn't have.
You didn't have
nothing,
anything to sell.
Nothing. I just worked at home in my small kitchen. I have small daughter. I didn't have any production, any pastry shop, any experience, like nothing. And I got so many different invitations, and I had to answer no to everything, almost everything. Like I couldn't just, like, for example, open some pastry shop, be a brand chef, like do this or that. And I couldn't, and I couldn't sell my molds. But at the end of the year, I remember in October, I sold my first mold, and it started step by step. So now we have it like a business. That time I couldn't even offer anything for that people who wrote me.
So tell us about turning this moment of visibility into a business and parlaying it. What were the steps you took, and what is the empire that you have today?
My first mold that became viral, we printed in a garage. There was a garage, there was 3D printed, like handmade 3D printer, and it printed only small sizes, so we stuck them with glue and sand it, and it was a very long process. So these were my first molds, and I decided to try, like I wanted to sell it. So I remember my first order I got just online through my Instagram. The same, I asked the address, and I went to post office, I packed, and I sent it. So my first orders, maybe 2 or 3 times I went to post office, and I really remember how I wrote names. I think it's very important, for for businessmen, for people to start the business, when you have this feeling, when you remember how you did it with your hands, how you got your first order.
So let's talk about Instagram and the psychological experience of Instagram.
Oh,
because
how many time we have? Like how much time?
Well, we got time, but let's focus on the highlights. Because you're someone. I mean, a lot of young people want to become famous on the internet. And you have nearly 1 million followers and you run your business. Would you say Instagram is the most important cog in the machine?
Instagram, so it's my main platform. I can't escape.
Right.
So-
You can't escape. So let's talk about this because, you know, what is the psychological experience for you? What's the journey been like of having the stakes that you have on Instagram and of working on the platform?
So I would like to say that we are different and we have different expectation and we have different reaction to different things.
Meaning who?
All of us.
All of us.
Yeah, because
Yes.
for one person it can be easy. For another person it can be very difficult, and he will think about it all the time. So as I started my Instagram many years ago, and I did everything myself, and I saw my Instagram growing, and every time when I post something, maybe this is the biggest problem. When I make some video, when I make some new project and I post something, I feel like it's like my baby, like my new creation, and I want people to see it. And Instagram has different algorithms, and sometimes it can be popular, sometimes not. So nobody knows, we can't predict it. And so the main problem, when I do not have enough views, I'm always sad. And this is the problem that I'm trying to solve right now with my therapist, because I understand that for normal adult, it's not good, when you are sad if you don't have views, because you still have a lot of things to do in your life. Unfortunately, we have Instagram rules, and even if we try to follow these rules, it doesn't mean that it will work at the end.
Rules, you mean like guidelines for successful post? Or what do you mean by rules?
you need to post a few times per week, for example. Right now you need to post reels to have this growing process, and you need to make some trends video, you need to use trend music, you need to make something you need to make something special. So in general, when people ask me can you recommend something about Instagram, I always answer that I think that for Instagram, you need to make something special, really special.
Yes.
People will, you will have this, remarkable, something special, or something very good. If you want to make baking account or anything, and you will post 100 recipes every day, I believe that it will work. One time, it's impossible to make something and have 0 at the end. So, but you need to work hard. And but in my case, sometimes I can post few times per week, and sometimes 3 weeks without any post, because I'm an artist. I don't have this good strategy. So to avoid this problem with my mental health and everything, I made my second page for my shop. So I have 2 pages. Second page right now has around 111,000 followers. And here I have SMM manager, and she's posting almost every day very similar content with my content or our customers' content. And I'm trying to also send people here because these people are really our customers and clients.
So that one has more of a commercial focus.
More commercial focus, and they will not be without me, my problems or my dancing or something else. So it's just like a shop. And in this case, I'm trying to focus people on that page, that if you want just a pastry, just molds, so please welcome here, follow this page. But on my page, I can be different. And so I don't know even what else.
What strategies with your therapist or independently have you tried to to remove the sense of self-judgment or self-worth that comes from the numbers on the screen?
Now, what happened, like, during this year, I had so many different feelings, really. So right now, I understood that I expected so many views from some of my last projects, and they didn't have enough views. Like, I expected, like, let's say 10 million views, like something like this. But then I see only 300,000. And for me, it's like nothing. And it happened during last 2 months like this quite often. And right now I feel like just that I'm empty. I can't react anymore. Like, and I noticed last week when I was sitting and I checked some others' Instagram, everything started in my brain, for example, when I'm checking some others' pages, not my.
Because you're comparing yourself.
Yeah, you start to compare.
Compare,
and
despair.
You see that everyone is so successful around and only you're like, you can't do it.
I feel the exact same way.
Really?
Of course.
Because
LinkedIn is my least favorite website on the internet.
I see. Because
I'm a fairly accomplished guy. When I go on LinkedIn, I feel like an absolute failure.
Yeah.
Because everyone is celebrating all of their incredible accomplishments on a daily basis and being appointed to boards and ambassadorships and closing new funds and financing rounds. I mean, LinkedIn is a very stressful place for me.
Oh, okay.
Don't even get me started with Instagram,
I have LinkedIn, but I just opened a few times. So luckily, only Instagram.
Stay away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking. So last week I had just free time and I was scrolling Instagram. To avoid all of this problem, you just need to concentrate on yourself, because more time you spend just watching some others' videos, more troubles you have at the end.
Yes.
I saw some video. There was some Instagram online conference about Instagram. There was a girl, I don't remember her name. She has 4 million followers, and she told about the same problems. Because more followers you have, more like you just compare with some other persons.
Right.
That's all. So
right.
No way to escape.
It's Kylie Jenner, it's Selena Gomez, it's Lewis Hamilton, right?
Yeah, maybe. So she told about the same thing, like she was inside my head talking like me. And you know what she told? And I remembered it, and I will try to keep it in my mind. She told people just like, keep going, don't stop. Just keep going, keep doing something, at least something. Try to not focus on your depression, just do at least something. And during last weeks, when I feel this depression and sadness, and when I only start to think about something bad, it's like, no, keep going, just doing, no matter what, just doing. So right now, this helps me really a lot. But with therapist, I just started months ago with new therapist, and we are just started from the scratch, So it's like Instagram will be in future somewhere. Yeah, but all this year, I'm trying to understand what is going on in my life. And the biggest problem, if you're influencer, I think, and if you post something and people expect you to post the same things every day, they do not give you permission to post anything extra.
They put you in a box.
Yeah, and this is the problem for me, because if I start to post something, like I posted a video from, for example, from music festivals or for something, and during 2 days, 4,000 people unfollowed me because I posted video from music festival, and because they expect me to be a chef. They follow the chef. I understand them. Like, it's okay. But from the other side, I'm still a person, and I'm able to do something, not only cakes. So I'm living, and I want to show, and I want to post my life, and I can't because I still worry about numbers, selling, and it's very difficult to understand how to organize the process. I think if you have, for example, new page and you're just starting, it's important at the beginning to post in some with some strategy. So then people will understand that you post this and that, and it's okay for them. But in my case, as people see only cakes and my journey with festivals, they didn't expect it.
Since you are on the topic of Burning Man,
Yeah.
you, after coming to the US, you discovered and fell in love with dance music
Yeah.
and festivals. So talk to me about what was the process of discovering dance music and festivals for you?
I used to be a dancer, and I dreamed to be a dancer. But when I was 14 years old, my mother decided to go with me to art school, and she told that you will not be able to make any money with dancing. You need to have profession. And I became a designer, but I have 10 years dancing experience, so I can't say that it was just something new for me because I danced previously. So I went a year ago in November. I went to first festival here, Dream State, and I really I like visual, and I like all the stages. I like lightning, lasers, music, and people having fun, and it was
an overwhelming sensory experience.
Yeah, and I feel this joy and happiness and people around. I like this moment. And then I went to, I discovered some music on YouTube because I started to work with new music. I just discovered that YouTube has music, because previously I was listening to some music that I knew. So I started to watch YouTubes, listen, and then it proposed me more and more and more DJs. Then I realized that one DJ is coming to LA. Then I went to Coachella. Here I found some friend who could come with me together, because previously nobody wanted to go with me. I have 0 friends who wanted to go to any DJ set or any party. But here I have some. So we started to go together. I met them. I went to some retreat where we were talking about mental health and we were crying 2 days. But then we realized that we like dancing.
I love to dance.
Yeah.
And talk about mental health. Dancing is, I think it's worth years of therapy.
Yeah, for me. But not for everyone.
No, definitely not for everyone. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but for me, I love to dance. And and you also, when you dance, I'm glad that you talked about going with people, because when you dance with people, even if they're strangers, the amount of trust and familiarity you have with them after dancing is heightened. Scientifically, this stuff is studied. Dancing with people is like one of the greatest things you can do for a relationship.
Yeah, I really like the energy. And what I do usually, when there is a crowd and everyone is happy, I love to close my eyes and just feel the energy and feel that people. And I believe that when some DJ makes some music and he makes it specially for me, so when I listen to it, it's like, okay, I'm listening. Thank you very much. So especially when I go to some festival and there is lineup and there are a lot of DJs and I like some of them, I really try to go to each set at least for a few 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's my way to say thank you for this person, because they made this job and they made it specially for people to listen to it. And at the end, I would like to say that I think in festivals, I feel like I am a kid, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to make any dinner. I don't have kids with me, no husband, nothing to do, no job, no phone, just have fun. So for me, it's really a place where I can switch, just be free at least a few hours. And in Burning Man, it was 1 week free, because no internet, no connection, no job, nothing. I was
no
alone,
likes, no comments,
nothing. And it was, oh my God, it was unbelievable, for me. because you live for yourself and you think like, what I'm going to eat, where I'm going to go, like what should I wear? That's all.
Yeah. On the show, often we talk about immersive experience that calms the discursive mind, the part of your brain that is talking to yourself, that's looking at itself, that's asking questions. And there are certain experiences, sometimes in conversation, sometimes in food, sometimes in cinema, and always in good dancing, where you can just be.
Yeah.
And you can just be not even yourself, but you're actually interconnected with other people in the moment.
Yeah.
And the feeling of connectedness is powerful for calming the discursive mind.
I think it's important to every person to have some hobby or something just to switch from time to time.
Oh, so most definitely.
To escape and to be yourself. Because after all, I can do more in my job when I have this place to relax.
Yes. So most definitely.
It's the most, and this year I can't even say that I found festivals like to do nothing, but I feel like I found my hobby finally. And I remember we had meeting with some people and I say like, I have a hobby because you need to, that meeting you had to tell about your job and your hobby. So I told like, my job is making cakes and my hobby is going to festivals, and everyone were laughing like, it's a nice hobby.
That's great combination. Well, and you need space away from your craft to be to create space to be inspired, for your brain to process, and you have to, for you to want it again, right? Because if you just get stuck in it and it's a job, then it becomes uninteresting to you, but you spend time away and then you start to, I want to do that thing again. And you get to go back to your work. So that's powerful.
Because I started cakes like a hobby. I used to be a designer, an architect.
Right.
So now I need new hobby. But again, I started with dancing like a hobby right now. And now I decided to make it like a business. So
how are you making it a business?
So now I'm working on new project. I would like to make festival outfits. We made first tests. We sewed first tests. I got them from Ukraine. And now I'm talking a lot with different companies. We are working on naming and strategy and everything. So next year, I hope there will be some bodysuits and jumpsuits with 3D printed details, with some special patterns. Because, like, I'm entrepreneur, and every time when I went to such festivals, I said like, I have to monetize it, like how to make money from it, because I can't only spend. I need to do something. And even if I go somewhere, to tell my husband that it's not for fun, like to, so I decided to
very important research. Oh yeah, very important hard work. Yeah, but you really do have that entrepreneurial gene where you follow your bliss. And then you figure out how to make a business out of this bliss of yours. Why don't we take a look at the molds that you brought?
Yes.
Can you walk us through these cakes?
So what I'm doing, I'm working with 3D printing. Okay, I'm still working. I'm not only dancing. We have recipe. So if you buy the mold, you have step-by-step recipe. And my idea is to spread my art. So you are buying this and you can make your piece of art using my mold. And if you sell it, your final customer doesn't know that this is Dinara Kasko. He thinks that you are a true artist and you stick somehow these cherries together, you pipe it. He doesn't understand how it's possible to make it. And he thinks that you are the god, So in this way, I like helping pastry shops and confectioners. So you can make this beautiful cake. I'm working with recipes together. So when our customer buy it, they expect not only molds, but also they need my recipes.
Of course.
They always ask.
Yeah, they want to be able to do something
They
with it.
are tasty. And also I talking with my business in general. So we are making art. I'm not making only cakes. That's why I'm artist. I'm trying to make edible piece of art. So when you make it like a cake and you give it to someone, they don't understand like it's a cake or what is it. They can't understand that it's a cake. So I like to surprise people, and especially for confectioners, they do not need to add any decoration, so they can save their time, because cake itself is like a design object. So we are making design object that they can like disappear on. So you eat and you don't have it anymore.
So we have a quick fire round that we call at large and off the cuff. And so these are quick questions and quick answers. If you want to go a little bit longer, that's okay, but generally pretty quick. So I ask everyone the same question, not just you.
Okay.
Are you glad social media exists, or do you wish it never existed?
I'm glad.
I figured. What is your comfort food?
I like to go to restaurant and order something when I don't need to cook
That
it.
is comforting as a chef.
It's
Yes.
like my biggest comfort when I can choose some good food and just don't cook it.
Kick back and
Because
just
I'm cooking
enjoy.
so much. Yeah, but my husband cooks from time to time, and I like cooking when I have time, when I'm not tired.
Yeah. Any specific food would be your comfort food?
My comfort food, I like Ukrainian food, my mom's food,
Who would you most want to collaborate with?
collaborate.
What about a DJ? Would you collaborate with a DJ?
Yeah,
to do a mold?
I wrote to Marshmallow, you know.
Oh,
He
okay.
has more than 2 million people, like followers page, where he's cooking something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Marshmallow.
Yeah, marshmallow would be a perfect pairing for a pastry chef. So
especially maybe with some dubstep set, would be nice.
okay, well if Marshmallow, if you're out there, please respond to your DMs. What message do you have for young creative entrepreneurs?
A message. So I think you have to do something that you really like, and only in this case you can be successful. So believe in yourself, and trust yourself, and listen to yourself. Because to be successful, you really need to love it and have this passion and energy. If you like it, you will not count the time. You just will move forward. And I think now everyone try to listen to as many people as possible, many podcasts, and I don't know, some
Gurus,
like
and thought
gurus,
leaders.
influencers, and everyone. But at the same time, try to listen to yourself, because maybe it's not your dream, it's their dream, or their thoughts, not your thoughts. So important to be alone with your thoughts from time to time, just to focus on what is important, and if it doesn't work, just keep going. Like,
That's mom's advice.
yeah, we have one life. So
So true. Well, speaking of liking things, you mentioned that you like Prosecco.
yes.
And Justine, I'd love for you to present the gift that we have for you.
Thank you.
So we have a bottle of
Champagne.
Veuve Clicquot champagne for you.
Thank you
to
very much.
enjoy and celebrate with when you have a chance.
Yeah, it's so funny.
But there's a
Thank you.
catch. Because the next question I have is, we don't need to drink it by any
Yeah.
means, but can you teach us a Ukrainian toast?
Ukrainian toast. We always say budmo. Budmo.
Budmo?
Budmo. It's like
Budmo.
let's be.
Let's be.
Yeah.
Budmo.
Just be here, like budmo.
And we ask every guest to walk us through one good recipe that you cook in detail, so someone could follow along and make it at home. And now, of course, I'm not asking you to recreate one of your elaborate cake mold recipes, but is there a recipe for a food? Could be sweet, could be savory, could be baked, could be, cooked. Can you walk us through a go-to recipe?
So, for example, do I need to like simple recipe or difficult one? Because I have
I mean,
many
it
options.
shouldn't be crazy detailed, but a recipe that you might make on a weekday.
Yeah, so very often I make pancakes, for example, for my kids.
Talk us through how you make
Yeah.
pancakes.
So in pancakes, if you don't know, I advise you to try to make them with kefir.
Oh, beautiful.
So they will be much better than with yogurt or milk or someone else.
Because it's acidic and it's a little bubbly,
Yeah.
so you get a nice rise in the pancake.
Yeah, so we always buy this especially for pancakes. So I mix 1 egg, 1 cup of kefir, some flour, sugar, baking soda. I mix all together and then just make pancakes with my pan. But last week I just found some recipe. You can dice, like cut banana, make banana circles, and dip this banana like pieces and fry together with this dough, and it will be pancake with banana inside. Or you can just grain some apple, or you can dice strawberry and just add, and you will have pancakes with some filling. So you can have different taste. You can add vanilla, you can add lemon zest, you can make whipped cream for it with maple syrup, and just like many options.
Beautiful. My kids love pancakes, so I'm going to get some kefir
Yeah.
and I'm going to test this out.
Yeah, will be much better.
And you said baking soda, not baking powder.
Yeah, baking soda.
Okay, good to know. Where can people find you, Dinara?
Online on my Instagram, Dinara Kasko. I'm here. I'm answering almost everyone. I'm trying. And I have email and in Irvine, or I don't know, maybe on Technorave in 2 days.
All right. Well, look out for her at a rave or find her on Instagram at Dinara Kasko.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Dinara.
thank you.
This was a pleasure.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into At Large. Today's episode was produced by Sick Bird Productions. Our theme song is Son of Sanford by Motion Worker. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and by email at atlargeshow.com. Follow me at SWH Norton on Instagram and Twitter, and DM me about the guests you want to hear on the show.